Freedom has a smell. Diesel fuel and cigarettes and hot food you didn't think you'd ever taste again. April 29th, 1945. That's when I learned what freedom smelled like. That's also when I learned that liberation doesn't mean you're free. My name is James Parker, Staff Sergeant, 8th Air Force, 351st Bombardment Group. I was a waist gunner on a B-17 Flying Fortress. We called her Memphis Belle II, not the famous one, just our crew's way of hoping for the same luck. We didn't have the same luck. I was 23 when we got shot down. December 20th, 1944. Our 23rd mission over Germany. Ball-bearing factory at Schweinfurt. Heavy flak, German fighters everywhere. We took hits in 2 engines. The tail section was shredded. Hydraulics were gone. Lieutenant Morrison, our pilot, good man from Texas, kept her in the air long enough for us to bail out. 6 of us made it out before she went down. Morrison and the co-pilot stayed with her, tried to crash land, didn't work. I hit the ground somewhere outside Nuremberg, ankle broken from a bad landing. Tried to hide, tried to evade, but I couldn't walk. Local home guard found me before nightfall. Old men and boys, but they had guns and I didn't. They marched me to a collection point. Other American and British airmen, all captured. We were terrified. We'd heard stories about what happened to captured bomber crews. German civilians blaming us for their destroyed cities. Lynch mobs, summary executions. Some of that happened. Not to us, but we heard about it. Saw evidence of it. The Luftwaffe took custody of us eventually. They weren't friendly, but they followed the Geneva Convention mostly. Interrogation at Stalag Luft, isolation, mind games, but no torture. Then transport to Stalag VII-A at Moosburg. That's where I spent the next 4 months. 4 months that felt like 4 years. People ask what it was like being a prisoner. They want stories about heroic escape attempts, about resistance, about keeping your spirits up. The truth? It was about surviving, day after day, getting smaller, getting weaker, getting less human, and wondering if anyone would ever come for us. Stalag 7. A was massive by the end, started as a camp for maybe 10,000 prisoners. By the time we got there in early 45, there were over 70,000. Americans, British, French, Russians, Poles, Yugoslavs, everyone the Germans had captured. The camp was designed for a fraction of that. Barracks meant for 50 men holding 200. Not enough food, not enough water, not enough anything. The hunger was the worst. They fed us, technically, kept us alive, but just barely. Watery soup, black bread that was more sawdust than flour. Maybe 900 calories a day if you were lucky. We were burning more than that, just trying to stay warm. I lost 60 pounds in 4 months. Started at 180, ended at 120. You could count every rib, every vertebrae. We looked like skeletons. The Red Cross parcels helped when they came. Chocolate, cigarettes, canned food. But they didn't come regularly. And when they did, the guards would inspect them first. Half the contents would disappear. Cigarettes became currency. You could trade them for extra food, for favors, for anything. Non-smokers were the richest men in camp. I smoked. Stupid when you're starving, but it helped. Killed the hunger a little. Gave you something to do. The boredom was almost worse than the hunger. Nothing to do. Nowhere to go. Just sitting, waiting, day after day. Some guys organized classes, teaching languages, sharing skills, anything to keep minds occupied. Some put on shows, theater productions with men playing all the parts, including women. Sounds ridiculous, but it kept us sane. Others just gave up, stopped eating, stopped talking, just laid in their bunks staring at nothing until they died. We had a name for it, barbed wire disease, loss of will to live. I saw good men just fade away, not from starvation exactly, from hopelessness. The guards were Wehrmacht mostly, older men not fit for frontline service. Some were decent, looked the other way, occasionally shared a cigarette. Others were bastards who enjoyed the power. The Russian prisoners had it worst. The Germans didn't consider them protected by Geneva Convention. They were starved deliberately, worked to death. We'd see them on work details, barely able to walk. We tried to share food sometimes, got caught once. The guard beat me with his rifle butt, cracked 2 ribs. Worth it, maybe. That Russian kid couldn't have been more than 19. He got a few extra days of life from that bread. Winter was brutal. Not enough blankets, not enough heat. Men died from cold, from disease, from giving up. We started wondering if liberation would ever come. By March 1945, we could hear it. Artillery. Distant at first, then closer. The front was moving. The Germans were losing. Everyone knew it. That made things worse, not better. The guards got nervous. More arbitrary punishments, more paranoia. Rumors spread that Hitler had ordered all POWs shot rather than let them be liberated. We didn't know if that was true. Couldn't know. Some guys started planning for it. If they came to shoot us, we'd rush them, die fighting instead of lined up against a wall. Better than nothing. I thought about my family, my parents in Ohio, my kid sister Betty, who'd just started college when I enlisted. What would they tell them? Would they even know what happened to me? The mail had stopped coming months ago. No word from home. No word to home. We'd disappeared into this camp. If we died here, would anyone ever know? April came. The artillery got louder. You could see flashes at night. The guards were talking about evacuation, moving us deeper into Germany. That terrified us. Moving meant marching. Marching meant death marches. We'd heard about those. Columns of prisoners forced to walk until they dropped. Anyone who couldn't keep up got shot. Then on April 27th, the Germans started destroying documents, burning records. We could see the smoke from the administrative buildings. They were preparing to abandon the camp. That's when things got really tense. Were they going to leave us, try to march us out, kill us before the Americans arrived? The senior Allied officers tried to negotiate. Tried to convince the Germans to just surrender the camp. Let everyone go. The commandant refused. Said he had orders. April 28th, most of the guards left. Just disappeared during the night. Left a skeleton crew of old men and boys. They looked more scared than we were. We could hear small arms fire now. Not just artillery, machine guns, rifles. The fighting was close. Maybe a few miles away. That night, nobody slept. We just waited, listening, wondering if we'd see morning. Some men prayed. Some wrote letters they might never send. Some just sat in silence. I thought about my crew. Morrison and the co-pilot who went down with the plane. The tail gunner who didn't make it out. Were they alive somewhere? Dead? Did it matter anymore? I thought about all the missions we'd flown, all the bombs we'd dropped, all the destruction we'd caused, German civilians dying in their homes while we were safe at altitude. Now I'd lived in Germany for 4 months, seen the ordinary people, the old women, the children, the men too old or too young to fight. They weren't monsters. They were just people. People whose government had led them into hell. Just like us. Just people following orders, doing what we thought was right. And all of it. All the killing, all the dying, all the suffering. What did any of it accomplish? Was the world better for it? Were we? I didn't know. Still don't. April 29th. Morning came. We heard tanks. American tanks. The sound was distinctive, the rumble, the squeak of treads. Men started crying, cheering, hugging each other. The guards threw down their weapons and ran, just ran, disappeared into the countryside. The tanks rolled through the gates, Sherman tanks with white stars, American crews. We were liberated and we were free, except we weren't, not really. The tankers looked shocked when they saw us. These young GIs, healthy and strong, staring at 70,000 skeletons in rags. Jesus Christ, one of them said, just kept repeating it. Jesus Christ. They gave us food, gave us cigarettes, gave us medical attention. Army doctors set up aid stations, started treating the sick and wounded. Some men ate too much, too fast. Their bodies couldn't handle it after months of near starvation. They died from liberation, died from food. How's that for irony? The medical teams tried to stop us, tried to control our diets. But we were free now, right? We could eat what we wanted. Several men died that first day, died free, died with full stomachs for the first time in months. I was smarter, ate slow, small amounts, let my body adjust. But God, it was hard. The hunger was still there, the fear that there wouldn't be food tomorrow. Had to eat everything now while you could. That fear never really went away. They set up a processing center, taking names, recording units, organizing transportation, getting us ready to go home. Home. The word felt strange, unreal. I'd stopped thinking about home months ago. Thinking about home hurt too much. Easier to just exist day to day. Now suddenly home was possible again. America, Ohio, my family, my old life, except that life was gone. I was different. Everything was different. Some guys were celebrating, drinking. Somebody found German schnapps, dancing, singing, acting like everything was fine now, like we could just go back to being who we were. I couldn't join them, couldn't feel what they were feeling. A chaplain came around, asked if I wanted to talk, to pray. I told him I was fine, another lie to add to all the others. We stayed at the camp for a few days while they organized transport, living in the same barracks but as free men now. It felt wrong somehow, like we should leave immediately. Every minute there was another minute stolen from us. I walked the perimeter one night, looked at the fence, the wire, the guard towers. Empty now. No guards, no guns, just empty towers. I could leave, just walk out, nothing stopping me, but I didn't. Because where would I go? Germany was still a war zone. And besides, I didn't know how to be free anymore. The camp had become normal, the routine, the structure. Freedom was terrifying. They transported us out on May 2nd, trucks to a railhead, then trains to Le Havre, then ships home. We were processed, debriefed, given back pay. Months of salary I'd been earning as a POW, given new uniforms, given medical exams, given everything except an explanation of how we were supposed to go back to normal life. I got home in June 1945. Train pulled into Cleveland. My parents were waiting, my sister, some neighbors, a small crowd with welcome home signs. They looked so happy. So relieved. I tried to match their energy, tried to smile and hug them and be the son they remembered. But I wasn't him anymore. That boy who'd enlisted in 42, who'd been so eager to fight, to serve, he died somewhere over Germany. Maybe when we got shot down. Maybe in the camp. Maybe the moment those tank treads rumbled through the gates. They threw a party, lots of food. They'd been saving rations for weeks. Everyone wanted to hear about it, about being a POW, about liberation, about the war. I gave them the sanitized version, left out the starvation, left out the deaths, left out the barbed wire disease, left out watching men fade into nothing, made it sound like an adventure. Hardship, sure, but we'd stuck together, kept our spirits up. And now we were home and everything was fine. They wanted to believe it, needed to believe it. So I let them. My mother noticed I wasn't eating much, kept trying to put more food on my plate. "You're so thin. You need to eat." I couldn't explain that my stomach had shrunk, that eating too much made me sick, that I couldn't look at a full plate without feeling guilty, thinking about the men who didn't make it home, who never got their full plate. The nightmares started immediately. I'd wake up screaming, thinking I was still in the barracks, still trapped, still waiting. My father heard me one night, came into my room, sat on the edge of the bed like he had when I was a kid. "Want to talk about it?" I couldn't, wouldn't. What was the point? He couldn't understand. Nobody could unless they'd been there. "I'm fine, Dad. Just adjusting." He nodded, didn't push, but I could see in his eyes he knew I wasn't fine. I tried to get a job. Went back to the factory where I'd worked before enlisting. They were happy to hire me back. Heroes welcome. Special treatment. I lasted 2 weeks. Couldn't handle the noise. The machines sounded like aircraft engines. Couldn't handle the enclosed space. Felt like the barracks. Couldn't handle people asking about the war constantly. I quit. Told them I needed more time to recover. Truth was, I didn't know if I'd ever recover. Started drinking. Not much at first. Just a beer or two to help me sleep. Then more, then whiskey, then whatever I could get. Drinking didn't bring back the man I used to be, but it helped me forget who I'd become. My sister got engaged, happy occasion. I went to the party, tried to be present, but I kept thinking about all the men who'd never get engaged, never get married, never have families. Why me? Why did I survive when better men didn't? What made me special? Nothing. Just luck. Random chance. That was the hardest part, knowing there was no reason for it. It's been a year now since liberation. 13 months since those tanks rolled through the gates. People keep saying I should be over it by now, that I should move on. They don't understand. You don't get over something like that. You just learn to live with it. I still can't eat a full meal without feeling guilty. Still hoard food. My mother finds crackers hidden in my room, cans stashed in closets. I can't help it. The fear of hunger is still there. I can't stay in enclosed spaces. Sleep with the window open even in winter. Need to know I can get out, that I'm not trapped. I can't plan for the future. Can't think more than a day ahead. In the camp, planning for the future was pointless. You survived today. That's all you could control. That mindset won't leave. The VA has programs, support groups for prisoners of war. I went to one meeting, sat in a room with other former prisoners, some from Europe, some from the Pacific. Japanese camps were worse, they said. Death rates higher, conditions more brutal. Didn't matter. Suffering isn't a competition. We'd all been broken in our own ways. I couldn't go back. Hearing their stories brought everything flooding back. Easier to just bury it. Push it down. Pretend I'm fine. My mother wants me to date, get married, give her grandchildren. She doesn't understand that I can't. How can I bring children into a world that does this, that creates camps and wars and suffering? How can I be a father when I can barely take care of myself? The war ended in August, VII Day. Japan surrendered. Everyone celebrating. The war was finally over. I felt nothing. Relief, maybe, that it was done, but no joy, no celebration. Because for me, the war didn't end. It's still happening. Every night in my dreams. Every time I close my eyes and see the barracks, the wire, the towers. Every time I feel hungry and panic. Every time I'm in a crowd and feel trapped. I read about the Nuremberg trials, about the concentration camps they found, Auschwitz, Bergen-Belsen, places that made Stalag VII-A look like a resort, The Holocaust, millions dead, systematic extermination. And I think I was in Germany. I was a prisoner. I saw what they were capable of. And I had no idea. None of us did. We thought we had it bad, and we did. But those people in the death camps, that was something else entirely. It makes my suffering feel small, insignificant. We were prisoners of war, protected by Geneva Convention. They were trying to kill us by neglect, maybe, but not by design. Those others, they were marked for death from the moment they arrived. How do I reconcile that? How do I complain about my nightmares when millions died in ways I can't even imagine? I can't, so I don't. I keep quiet. I drink. I try to get through each day. Liberation was supposed to be the end, the moment everything got better, the moment we were saved. But liberation was just the beginning of a different kind of captivity. A prison made of memories and guilt and trauma that has no walls but no exit either. The gates opened, the guards left, the tanks came. But I'm still there, still in that camp, still waiting to be free. We never came back.